This is not your father's Republican Party. Get it yet?
Lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
What President Biden tasked VP Harris with doing back in 2020 regarding the border, securing, not to secure it, but to address the underlying roots of migration. What Republicans heard, though, was that President Biden was naming her his border czar.
It's not what we heard, you jackasses. It's what was written. Let's go. Let's go right to the source. This is the government proclamation that says she is indeed the czars, you. They use the very word. Those Republicans with their accurate recollections. The media had their way. We'd all be like Biden, an empty memory and a full diaper. They're also erasing her record on bailing out criminals. She's opened more jail cells than cakes with files in them. In 2020, she tweeted out a link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to raise bail money for thugs arrested during the George Floyd mostly peaceful protests. And by mostly peaceful, I mean only a few dozen people were killed. Leave it to the CBS News to paint a different picture. Quote, despite Trump's claim and 2020 tweet showing support, Harris never donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Well, that's not what people asserted. She raised funds, not donated to them, you toady douchebags. And defunding the police, well, she supported that too, once upon a time.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Duh.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
Whoa, 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 put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchuck and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom.
Welcome, everybody.
Of Vermont, that is, to another version of It's News to Us. Yeah, before we get started, in the booth we have Philo T. Farnsworth, the College of Musical Knowledge, inventor of the modern television. Philo Farnsworth actually invented it in the 20s. And he got the idea from plowing potato fields in Idaho when he was a kid.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he took the idea to his science teacher. And he was smart enough to patent it, mister. Anyways. Yeah, and he created the Dumont network, which kind of fizzled out. I mean, he got tripped up by the Depression, and then again by World War II, and then when the civilian life finally came back to normal, he was still, I don't know, he had a problem with it. Anyways, it's a great story. But our Philo is in the booth. You can see him waving now. You can see his videos, his drumming videos, at Terry DeFazio on YouTube. Let's see, who are we? Where are we? You are watching, thanks Philo, you're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news watchers. Hell yeah, brown cows, locals say. And Cadaver in Chief, he's still bumbling around the White House. He wants to pack the Supreme Court now. You hear that, Terry?
Of course he does. They all do.
Yeah. Oh man, you don't get your way. We finally get a conservative court, an originalist court, and you guys want to take it away? No. I don't think so.
He wanted to do that before he got elected. Remember he wanted to raise it to 9 members instead of 7?
Yeah, but he never came out and said it until after he was elected that I know of.
Nah.
Because it's crazy. Anyways, there he is right there. Get off my lawn! And wars and austerity, no thank you. We want peace and prosperity, and it's, oh man, things are getting hot in the Middle East. Before I came in, there was airstrikes. They took out this, one of the Ayatollah's boy generals. He's like my age, right? Well, think about it, Terry. They were in their 20s during the revolution in '79, right?
We're so young, aren't we, Steve?
Yeah, we're getting older. And so they took out a general in Tehran with a missile in Tehran, Terry. And they took out another guy another Hezbollah guy in Beirut for raining the missiles down on that kid's playground. Killed 10 kids. And here we are. We're all inclusive here. We cater to men who think they're women, who look like men, who think they're men. And anyways, defund the police? No, I don't think so. Philo was good enough to put in some cuts of cackling communist Kamala and her defund the cops thing. Anyways, oh, and look what I got in the mail, Philo. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You know why they didn't have any of these before, Terry?
Nobody wanted them.
Yeah, that too. They didn't have any before because if you put them on your car, chances are your car would be keyed or windows smashed if when you came out and into the parking lot.
I got an interesting news article for you.
Yeah?
I was watching Dan Abrams the other night, and he said, you know when there's a terrorist strike, Hamas or Hezbollah take credit for it, right?
Yeah.
They clamor and they say, we did it, yes. Now they're not saying that they did it. And you know why? Because they killed their own.
Yeah, well, they killed Arabs.
Yes, that's it. They killed their own. That's why they're not taking credit for it.
Yeah. They're Druze.
That's right.
Yeah, they're Arabs. They're like Christian Arabs. They've lived in northwestern Israel forever and ever and a day, and you know, they do their thing. They make a living. They don't bother anybody. And 9/10 of them speak English with hardly any accent. It's wild, man. They have a high percentage of doctors and scientists and lawyers. I mean, these people, you know, and they had a bunch of kids out playing in a playground, and bang, in come the missiles. They didn't even have any warning, man. The shelter was like 30 feet away from the playground, Philo.
Yep, I know.
It's crazy.
What a wonderful bunch, huh?
Yeah, ain't they something? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Kill. It's just like what they used to say back in the Vietnam War, kill a commie for Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? We had to burn the village to save it. Anyways,
You see, Lieutenant Kelly died.
Yeah, he did?
Yeah, 80.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's see. My brother was born in 49. He's 7 years older than me. And he got drafted, or almost drafted, for Vietnam and got killed in Vietnam. And Callie was over there. My Lai was 1969, 70?
I was going with a woman named Kathy, and I believe it was 70 or 71.
Huh.
Somewhere's around there, yeah.
What, My Lai? Anyways, yeah, they got carried away, man. It's just like they did in that movie Platoon. I mean, and Oliver Stone movies. They're about as close as you can get to the real thing. They really are.
Well, do you remember when they had that big stink over Abu Ghraib?
Yeah.
You know what bothered me about that was that they picked all the little guys, all the corporals and sergeants, and they prosecuted them, even though they were given orders by their superiors.
Yeah, and I was gonna get that clip from the JFK movie, Oliver Stone movie, because like the Secret Service, they didn't. It's almost like there are people. There are lots of people, and not me. Okay, YouTube. There are some people who are coming out and saying this was this Trump assassination attempt. Oh, did you see the video that came out, Philo?
No.
Holy moly. I saw it on TV right before I left for the studio. You have to see this video. It's on Fox News. They show it shows like the foreground and then Trump in the stage and then the background, and it shows the kid friggin' walking on the top of the roofs. It's incredible. So there's some people, and some I guess were former Secret Service agents, who said that this was done on purpose. Okay, and it reminded me of the JFK movie where the guy Kiefer Sutherland, not Kiefer, Donald Sutherland, the guy who plays Kiefer's father, he plays the Mr. X in the JFK movie, and he says, look, I've done presidential details. We never would have let him to allowed him to have an open top. We would have never allowed the route to do a couple of sharp turns at 0 miles an hour. We would have never allowed any windows to go open. He said we would have had snipers all over the place. If you were dared open a window, or somebody opened an umbrella, he said there would have been consequence. I mean, it's. And I'm thinking, man, this is nasty. It's dirty. It's they tried to drag the guy into court for the Presidential Records Act. They tried to drag him into court for insurrection in Washington. They drug him into court and tried to take away his business in New York City. They tried to get him off the ballot in 13, 14 different states. They tried to get him with a defamation case because he mentioned a rape victim, even though he was acquitted of the rape or molestation charges. I mean, all this stuff. It's like, do you really think that the powers that be wouldn't try and kill this guy? I don't know. It's something to think about. Anyways, buddy of mine, I got a copy of this, right? It's
357s?
Yeah, the Colt's making a bunch of 357s again, Philo.
Are those the Pythons?
Yep, they're making the Python and...
You know what's weird about those guns?
Who?
The Colt Python, you know what's weird about them?
What?
They have a reverse twist.
Huh. That
They
I
used
did
to
not
anyway.
know.
When I bought 357s, I bought Smiths.
Yeah, I like them. They're gorgeous guns, but...
I bet they're about an arm and a leg to get one.
Yeah, I've got a Ruger now. Let's see, page 36. Let's see how much they're going for. 36.
I bet they're about $800.
Pardon me?
I bet they're about $800 now.
Yeah, let's see.
I think at least $800.
Whoa. Double that, Philo.
Wow.
MSRP, $15.99.
Revolvers seem to be a lot more expensive than pistols also.
Oh, wait a minute. There's other ones. Colt releases blued combat target models of the ultimate snake gun. Let's see. Colt Python Target, 357, $1,500. Colt Viper 38 Special, $9.99.
Oh gosh, I can get it for $10.
Yeah, $9.99. It's all yours. But anyways, I'm going through this. I didn't think anything of it until I get to the last page. Where's this article? Thanks, Philo. The article's called "Hang Fire," and this is how bad the Democrats are. Okay. This is my old buddy Crispy. How'd I miss that set? He was quite the unit. It was March 23 when I heard the looming shortage of gunpowder. At first, I dismissed it as rumor from alarmists. Rumblings persisted, came from reliable sources. My hope was that the problem was being overblown and dashed when one of the major powder brands reported it was suspending its order fulfillment for the foreseeable future. Because there's a lot of people in this country that make their own, that load their own bullets, Philo.
They do their own reloading, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just as the ammunition retailers catch up from the last round of panic buying, another disruption's on the way, and it's going to hit shooters hard. The problem, limited supply of raw materials. Powder's made from nitrocellulose. Only a few countries produce this nitrocellulose. The only place in the USA that makes it is the Radford Army Ammunition Plant in Virginia. But nearly all of that is used to load military munitions. Nitrocellulose is generally imported. For a credible look at the problem, I reached out to the ballistic editor, Dave Emery. The Swiss make nitrocellulose, and the bulk of it after that comes from China and Russia, Philo.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So we're barely making enough for us, well, the Ukraine, basically. It's crazy. And right now, we don't exactly have the best relationships with either country. Whatever supply in this country is going to the military first. The increased demand comes from the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. According to news reports, Russia's military fires roughly 10,000 rounds of artillery per day. I find that hard to believe, but, you know, I just don't see them shelling like that every day. You know what I mean?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but they got, you know, thanks to Biden raising the price of oil, you know, they got the money for it, that's for sure.
Yep.
According to 10,000 a day, and the Ukraine uses 2,000 rounds. Each 155 millimeter shell uses 20 to 25 pounds of nitrocellulose. To put that in perspective, the same amount it would take to load 25,000 rounds of 9mm ammo. Okay, the U.S. has sent at least 2 million 155mm shells to Ukraine between February 22 and April of 24, and it is poised to provide even more. Why aren't we talking peace, Philo?
Peace sells, but who's buying?
Yeah, we got that right. You know, I support Ukraine's right to defend itself. Well, that's the default position. You got to say that with everything. I'm on the Ukrainian side, of course. Let's see. If hostilities spread to other parts of the world, the commercial side effects will only worsen. There's little appetite in the Biden administration to ease burdens on American shooters because they don't like civilian shooters, okay? You got that, boys and girls? They don't like you, okay? And they don't like your guns either. They don't think that civilians should have guns. It's the only thing that's keeping them at bay. Okay. Let's see. They will happily sit back and watch these shortages occur. Don't forget that this administration cut off supply of ammunition from the Lake City ammo plant in 2022 for the civilian market. In April of 24, a group of U.S. senators led by James Risch of Idaho filed S-4163, the Ammunition Supply Chain Act. However, even if it were passed, it merely studies the issue for potential future action. I've been hand loading for more than 30 years. Like some who read this column, I maintain a supply of gunpowder. Like you, though, I've seen selections narrow and prices increase. These days, if you can find a pound of powder, you're likely to pay $50 to $75 for it. Wow, I guess I'd better hold on to my supply, huh, Philo?
You better grow your own.
Yeah, I'll be out in the backyard mixing sulfur, saltpeter, and charcoal, right?
Yeah, well, why not? You can grow anything else. You can go for that, right?
Yeah, I'll make my own black powder. Like Kirk did on that episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, I know.
When he was after that alien in the rubber suit.
Those were the days.
Yeah. I've resisted the urge to hoard propellant and have been stocking up on rimfire ammo so my family can shoot regularly. Unfortunately, this problem is a serious one that deserves our consideration. It isn't going away anytime soon. Which reminds me, I gotta come into town on Friday, and I think I'd better get myself some more .22 caliber ammunition. And speaking of peace, Philo, I found this. For those of you who don't get this, you can get this online for the most part, the Epoch Times. I get the print version, thanks, Philo. And here it is. This kills me. This is like school children on a playground, Philo. We don't want you to go talk to Putin, okay? We don't like Putin. There's my old buddy Spike. We don't like Putin, okay? And if we're not going to talk to Putin or go to Russia, then you better not go either, or we won't allow you to be our friends. Here it is right here. European Union rebukes Viktor Orban for trip to Moscow. I'd rather see the pictures of the dogs, actually. Thanks, Philo. The foreign ministers' meeting in Budapest canceled to send a signal to Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban over his recent trip to Russia. It's crazy. It's an unsanctioned peace mission, because God forbid, like Philo says, peace doesn't sell, and there's no money in peace, and that's one of the reasons they hate Trump so much. And you know, they're all clamoring for peace and a ceasefire in the friggin' Gaza, you know, but for some reason, it's okay for the Ukrainians to hammer the Russians and the Russians to hammer the Ukrainians. What's up with that?
My wife was so angry yesterday when she read the newspaper that all of our representatives to Washington are supporting what do they call that?
Two-state solution?
Two-state solution, yes. Oh, she was ripping mad over that. She couldn't believe all three of our representatives are supporting it.
No.
Guess what? None of them are getting my vote ever again.
No. And they're chumps, man. They're chumps. And there's a reason. You look, okay, boys and girls, if you've got a globe, there's Mackie. Oh, Mackie.
Mac scratch fever.
Yeah. If you have a globe, look on the globe and look at how much land there is in Arab hands, okay, and in Muslim hands, rather. And why none of these countries have ever taken in one Palestinian, well, except for Jordan and Lebanon, right, Philo?
Yeah, Syria hasn't taken them, have they?
Syria too, yeah. Except for those three countries where they could easily walk over the borders.
Yeah.
No Arab or Muslim countries have taken these people. You know why? Because they're trouble, okay? They're trouble with a capital T.
Yep. The Egyptians don't want them, and the Saudis don't want them.
Nobody wants them. And nobody's wanted them since the beginning of time. I mean, you know? Anyways, back to Viktor Orban. The decision to change the meeting venue follows Orban's stealth-style peace mission that took him to Kiev, Moscow, Peking, and the U.S. On July 2nd, the day after Hungary assumed the EU presidency, he traveled to Kyiv, where he discussed prospects for peace with President Volodymyr Tenpersensky. 3 days later, he went to Moscow, where he had a discussion with Putin. In a July 5th social media post, Orban defended the meeting, saying, "You can't make peace from a comfortable armchair in Brussels. Even if the rotating presidency has no mandate to negotiate, we can't sit back and wait for the war to miraculously end." You know another reason why they don't like this guy, Philo?
Why is that?
Because he's put up a border fence around Hungary, and he says that the country is a Christian country, and it's always going to be a Christian country, and he takes care of young families. They actually get government subsidies if they have children and need help.
Oh, okay.
Imagine that, huh?
I would have never thought such a thing.
What an a-hole. Yeah, unbelievable. Let's see. Nevertheless, the meeting in Moscow drew sharp rebukes from his fellow EU leaders. They called it appeasement. Only unity and determination will pave the path to a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in the Ukraine, wrote Ursula von der Leyen. Right. Which means there's no peace, okay? Mac. You know, every time I think I got a once-in-a-lifetime dog, I get another one that's a once-in-a-lifetime. I've had like 2 of them, Philo.
Yep. Spike
And Mac was one of them.
Mac was really one of them. He was funny.
Yeah, that dog. Let's see. Nevertheless, on July 8th, Orban visited China, which has drawn increasingly closer to Russia. Oh yeah, because they got a discount on Russian oil at about $50 a barrel. What's it going for now? 70 something bucks a barrel here.
Yep.
Yeah. Soon afterward, Orban went to the U.S., where he met with former President Trump in Florida. The discussion about the possibilities of peace, blah blah blah, yada yada. No role in diplomacy, of course. Oh, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, one of the pajama boys, said his peace mission sent shockwaves across Russia, across the Western officialdom. Sullivan describes the Trump-Orban meeting as a diplomatic adventurism. Oh, so when he wants to talk peace with Russia and the Ukraine, that's adventurism. But yet when John Kerry was going behind the country's back and trying to make peace with those stupid Iranians, that's okay. That wasn't a violation of the, what was it, the something act. God, what's the name of that act? Oh, anyways, it'll come to me. Several EU members have all temporarily downgraded their participating in meetings arranged by the EU presidency. Hungary will hold the presidency until December 31st, which will be assumed by Poland. And the Poles, I'll tell you what, you think Orban's talking peace? The Poles are right on the front lines of this war, and the Poles will probably talk peace too. You idiots. Oh, and the Department of Justice asked the Supreme Court to allow some of the blocked Title IX rule changes to go through. I'll get to that in a minute. That's crazy. Title IX, yeah, we're going to allow, what was that? They want to allow, the Department of Education issued guidance changing the Title IX rules to get federal funds. Now, here's another thing. This is why we need to abolish the Department of Education. Why are they getting funds? Why does some bureaucrat in Washington get to stiff-arm a local school board and tell them what to do? It's prohibits consecutive gender identity. The rule changes would mean that male students who identify as female could use the women's bathrooms and spaces and join women-only organizations. Oh, yeah.
Did you see the latest one? They had 2 male boxers over at the Olympics, and they literally pummeled these 2 other women. They
Really?
allowed 2 male athletes who identify as women to compete against women.
They let them compete in the
I
Olympics?
saw one of the videos. It was horrible. Yeah.
That's insane, Terry. I thought they were banned.
Nope. A few of them have made it through.
Oh, those rat bastards.
I don't watch the Olympics anymore anyway. This happened to be a video clip
Yeah.
that I saw on Reels. I will not watch the Olympics.
No, I've been boycotting it also.
For one thing, they never have Olympic weightlifting anymore, and that's one of the best sports that there is. And the guys haven't drifted into that one. But just like they have all these damn human interest stories. I want to see the games. I want to see sports. I want
Yeah.
to hear about somebody's grandmother, and somebody had a hard life, and somebody was in Louisiana. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I noticed that this morning, Fox, of all people, they wasted like a half an hour on the guy who did the friggin' gymnastic horse thing, talking about him because he took off his glasses before he did the event. Oh, everybody's calling your son the Clark Kent of the horse. It's like, what? You wasted all, what? No.
Oh my gosh.
I'll never get that part of my life back.
It's 30 minutes of your life you will not get back.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It would also expand the definition of harassment to include using a pronoun that aligns with sex at birth but conflicts with their chosen gender identity.
Oh, Cry me a river, will you please?
Yeah, so Philo, say Philo's a coach, and he called a boy a girl who thinks he's a boy or a girl. He could lose his job over that.
You see, what's happened here with the woke community and the culture is that people's feelings matter more than the truth. The truth means nothing. It's all about feelings.
Well, I got your feelings swinging, honey.
I got more than that swinging.
Yeah, let's see. Schools that receive federal funding but refuse to comply risk losing that funding and facing lawsuits.
Oh boy, lawsuits. We got to have more of those.
The expansion of the rules also included changes to record-keeping requirements, grievance procedures, protections for pregnant and postpartum students and employees. However, the changes at the heart of the lawsuits filed by the Republican-led states and other groups related to the three provisions on gender identity.
Oh boy, there we go again.
Unbelievable. Anyways, let's get to some other news that we don't have the news for. I'd better do some of this stuff. This is from Judicial Watch, judicialwatch.org. They were kind enough, Todd was kind enough to print it up for the NEK's News Division. Let's see. Election law is simple, but many don't want to follow it for reasons we can all guess. The National Voter Registration Act of '93 requires states to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove from the official voter rolls the names of ineligible voters who have died or changed residence. Remember, like we said in Chicago, okay, if the dead can vote, you can get off your couch and vote too.
Yep, vote early, vote often.
Yipper.
Quote Mayor Richard Daley.
Among other things, the act requires registrations to be canceled when voters fail to respond to address confirmation notices. The snowflakes call that caging, Philo.
Caging?
Yeah, you're caging voters. No, we're just sending them notice to see if they're alive, dead or alive.
Caging, they're not putting them in cages, are they?
Yeah, well, they say they are. It's voter caging.
Yeah, don't forget, we have a new updated terminology, you know. Snowflakes have now become moonbats.
Moonbats!
Yep.
Yipper. And batwangers.
Paper hangers.
Yeah, let's see. It's supposed to be canceled when voters fail to respond and fail to vote in 2 elections. So if you don't vote in 2 elections, they figure you're dead or moved. In 2018, the Supreme Court confirmed that such removals are mandatory in Husted versus A. Philip Randolph Institute. Judicial Watch sent a letter to the Oregon Secretary of State and the Constitution Party of Oregon and Oregon registered voter notifying them of violations of the act based on their failure to remove inactive voters from their rolls. It was a pre-suit notice, and it goes on and it says hamana, what do they do, yada yada yada. Could you please make an effort to follow the law? Could you please follow the law and get the dead people off the rolls?
I saw an article today in Yahoo News.
Yeah.
Vermont's got some sort of a system where they can stop that. They have a way of checking people out to make sure they really are registered voters. I didn't see the whole article, but Vermont's got a system that's different.
Yeah. And the My Pillow guy, he's urging people, some people in the hinky states, you know, the moonbat states, Philo.
Yes.
He's urging them to go to their town hall and get an absentee ballot, and then don't open it, keep it sealed, and then you bring it with you to the polling place at the time on election day. And if they say that you already voted, you whip out your ballot and you show it to them, and you say, no, that's impossible. You're under arrest, and you can call the sheriff and get them busted and catch them in the act. In flagrante delicto, as they say, right?
Yes, corpus electi and Rosie O'Grady.
Yeah, states are required by federal law to report data concerning their removal programs to the Federal Election Assistance Commission. every few years that they publish data as part of a report to Congress. The most recent one were released in June of this year. Dirty rolls can mean dirty elections. With a presidential election less than 4 months away, it's vital that Oregon get about the business of cleaning its voter rolls, and a lot of other states too. In May, they sued California to clean up their rolls.
Oh, that's going to be a good job.
Yeah. You think? Let's see. Notice sent 3 other notice letters to District of Columbia, California, and Illinois, notifying them of violations of the act. And they filed an amicus brief with the Supreme Court. In July of last year, they settled a federal election integrity suit. In April of that year, in 23, Pennsylvania settled with us and admitted in court filings that it removed 178,258 ineligible registrations in response to communications from Judicial Watch. The settlement commits Pennsylvania and 5 of its counties to extensive public reporting of statistics regarding their ongoing voter roll cleanup efforts for the next 5 years. In March 23, they also filed a lawsuit against the Illinois Board of Elections and their director, Bernadette Matthews, over their failure, and it goes on and on and on. And these guys, like I said, they're the only people I actually have given money to, and it's worth every penny, because they root out corruption. Let's see. Also this week, we filed 2 Freedom of Information lawsuits for the background materials referenced in Robert Hur's February report, and the Hur report about the White House counsel and Biden's personal lawyers. Because remember, Robert Hur came out and said, well, we didn't want to charge Joe because, if we bring him up before a jury, he's gonna seem like a nice old man with a bad memory, and and they won't release the audio. They won't release the audio transcripts. Yeah, here it was. He called him a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory and declined to charge Biden with a serious felony. So, you had no problem charging Trump, who was a president and covered under the act, but you do have trouble filing charges against Joe Bite Me, the most corrupt sack of crap that ever walked through the White House doors.
I don't know. Bush and Cheney were pretty good.
Yeah, they were close.
They just remember, all these wars we've had, Bush and Cheney started them all.
Yeah, and Nixon was a choir boy, man.
Yep.
God, I can't believe it.
Johnson got us into that war, not Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
People forget.
Well, Nixon was the one that did that whole Bay of Pigs thing with Cuba, and landed right on Kennedy's lap as soon as he got inaugurated.
Yep.
Let's see. Congress should do an emergency investigation into Biden's fitness for office. Oh, you think? The Pentagon DEI budget surges for woke training to root out white privilege. I don't want to read that because it's just going to anger me.
Oh, I feel so privileged. Besides, I'm not white anyways. I'm Italian.
Oh, and you're half Yankee. Come on, Philo.
Yeah, well, actually, I did like the Yankees at one time. Now I like Houston.
That's crazy. Here we are. The Air Force teaches airmen to use proper pronouns. An Army course on race and gender defines racism as a possibility for a dominant group, while people of color merely express prejudice and gender as a social construct. The Navy promotes a sailor's drag show aboard a warship, and its anti-extremist training considers the violent radical BLM movement to be positive, apolitical public policy issue. A Marine Corps CRT course emphasizes diversity and inclusion while claiming that colorblindness is unsound because it protects white supremacy.
Oh boy, yes, we're 10% of the population.
It's nuts. It's nuts, man. Even the black people are getting saying look, this is stupid.
Well, Steve, you said it best a long time ago. Straight white males are the only unprotected minority there is.
Yeah, well,
Everybody else has
that's,
got some sort of a legislation on their side. Not us. Forget us.
that's when I stopped watching Pac-Man and Democracy Now! And those, because I found out that we are the enemy, Philo.
Yeah, I know. We run Pac-Man on the weekends,
Yeah,
and he's just another flaming liberal.
we became the enemy, man.
Yep.
And here we are. Kamala rose through Brown. What was his name? Willie Brown's. Was instrumental in Harris's rise in Cal politics. She may have protected him and his allies from damaging investigations. Willie Brown rose through the ranks of the state assembly, became speaker in 1980. He served there for 14 years with an iron fist, rewarding allies with lucrative patronage posts and punishing opponents. He called himself the Ayatollah of the Assembly. In 96, he was elected mayor of San Fran. Along the way, he attracted the attention of the FBI, which repeatedly investigated but failed to bring charges. The FBI may have failed, but Brown had plenty of critics. Let's see, he was term limited out, but Kamala Harris was elected San Fran DA in 2003. So Willie put his machine behind Kamala Harris. And let's see. It was not the first time Willie Brown had given Kamala Harris a helping hand. They dated in 94 and 95. In 94, Brown appointed Kamala to two influential state commissions, the Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board, ka-ching, that's like $100,000 a year or more, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the California Medical Assistance Commission. She was elected DA in 2003 and 07. AG in 2010 and 14, and a United States Senator in 16 and Vice President in 2020. Well, she wasn't elected Vice President, really. She was kind of appointed. I mean, she didn't get one vote, man. Not one vote when she was running for president in, what the hell was it, in Iowa. She dropped out, remember, after a week.
Yep, she sure did.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Peter Schweitzer noted in a recent interview with Breitbart that in her first DA race, Harris ran against an incumbent who was investigating corruption against Willie Brown. And when she won, she dropped a whole series of cases connected to Willie Brown. The biggest case, Schweitzer said, involved an 800-page document from the Catholic Church in San Fran detailing allegations of sexual abuse. But when Kamala came in, not only did she not prosecute anybody in the church, she refused to release the document. It disappeared and was never to be found. Unbelievable, huh, Philo?
I don't believe it.
Yeah. She's covering up for the Catholic Church, man.
Oh, yeah, they need our help.
Yeah, great. Oh, they were running surf movies again last night. Yeah, her comm guy came from Demand Justice, or went to Demand Justice Lawfare. Then they're going after judges, lawyers, and the Supreme Court's independence. The Supreme Court was a flaming liberal court for 60 to 90 years, and now they're turning on it, trying to say, "Oh no, we got to take them down."
Yeah, the only thing I have to admit that I really hated was when Mitch McTurtle wouldn't let Obama appoint somebody. He made all of us wait a year and a half.
Yeah, well, thank God we would have got Merrick Garland on the court. But anyways, hey, it was their own fault. That was Harry Reid. Remember, Harry Reid got rid of the filibuster, Philo.
Well, hey, Mitch McTurtle has used it to his advantage.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Is he going to run again or not?
Oh, no, I don't think so. See, here's the three branches. Congress writes the laws. The executive, God, how did I get pulp? Oh, it's from the Limes. Congress writes the laws. The executive enforces it. Supreme Court interprets it. And Joe Biden says that the Supreme Court should be term limited because they're too old, Philo? This is a guy that's filling up diapers every day. And Joe Inc., his family, his Biden family, took in $20 million from Russia, China, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, etc., etc. Oh, and they had 2 kids died in a car crash, Philo, on I-89. The car burst into flames. Another one was like a day later. He got thrown out of the car. I'm telling you, people, wear your seatbelts, especially you kids, because you know you drive like maniacs. You've got to wear your seatbelts. Let's see. Oh, and you want to see something, boys and girls? You talk about Hezbollah getting off the hook and Obama rewarding his Muslim friends, right? Just look up Obama, Hezbollah, look up Obama's Cassandra bargain, okay, boys and girls? Even on Google, look up Obama's Cassandra bargain. There's a full-length article in there by Politico. I'm talking like 10 pages, longer than that thing. And he made a deal with Hezbollah that it'll blow your mind, okay? They were allowed to deal drugs. They run the largest used car theft ring on the planet. Obama's Cassandra bargain, okay? And man, oh man, they keep saying, they all came out, all the snowflakes came out, and right on cue, they were all saying that Trump and J.D. Vance are weird. They're just weird. And I had a clip in there, but Philo only has so much room for so many clips that we put up, and I appreciate every one he does put up. But they all came out and said that they were weird. You know what's weird? What's weird is that a known illegal alien gay prostitute was found in Pelosi's house with her husband. That's what's weird, okay? Remember that guy with the hammer
Yeah.
boy?
Yeah, I don't understand all of that.
Yeah, he's an illegal alien from Canada, Philo.
Oh, those Canadians. The next thing you know, they'll be down there playing ice hockey.
Yeah, and he attacked Paulie Pelosi with a hammer. And Paulie Pelosi told the police that he was a guest. So I don't know, you go figure out. That's not weird, right?
No.
No. Sam Britton, the bald guy from the nuclear waste department that stole everybody's luggage and wore the dresses around. That's not weird, right?
No, and the what is it, the Secretary of Health?
Yeah, or general. What do they call that? The something Surgeon General.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel Levine.
Oh, wasn't she pretty?
Yeah, not Richard Levine, Rachel Levine. Yeah, that's not weird, right?
Tusk.
Dylan Mulvaney, the Bud Light girl.
You never see him around anywhere anymore.
Yeah, he got disinvited to the White House. Remember they did have one at the White House who took down their blouse and showed everybody their honkers?
No, what was that? I missed that one. Were they
Oh.
real women, though?
No, they were batwangers. And but they had a good plastic surgeon, Philo. They sure looked real to me. Oh yeah, and here, watch out, boys and girls. Here comes the bird flu. They're going to try and get everybody to get, what do you call it, vaccinations, and they're going to try and push an mRNA vaccine. They got Dr. Peter Hotebs from NBC, that guy, that weirdo with the round glasses, who was on MSNBC shoving the vaccine 4 years ago. They got that guy back.
Sunday
And,
when I went to Walgreens,
Yeah,
your friend, the pharmacist, the guy you like so much,
yeah.
he asked me if I wanted to get another COVID vaccine or another flu shot, and I said nope. But anyways, boys and girls, last but not least, Steve, give us one more good piece of news.
Oh my God, man, really?
Well, you have long clips.
Oh yeah, that's true. Anyways, okay, last but not least, GovTrack, which is like an archive spot on the interweb. GovTrack had removed Kamala Harris's name and record of the most liberal senator, okay? the most liberal senator. They removed it from the interweb. And Act Blue, the Democrat donation site, they've been taking money from people using their credit cards, but not using their CCV number. And last but not least, James O'Keefe, the O'Keefe Media Group, OMG.com. You can find it there. Let's see. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Inshallah, as the Hebrews say. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east towards Mecca, and watch him walk around the rock and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
Thank you and good night.
This is not your father's Republican Party. Get it yet?
Lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
What President Biden tasked VP Harris with doing back in 2020 regarding the border, not to secure it, but to address the underlying roots of migration. What Republicans heard, though, was that President Biden was naming her his border czar.
It's not what we heard, you jackasses. It's what was written. Let's go. Let's go right to the source. This is the government proclamation that says she is indeed the czars, you. They use the very word. Damn those Republicans with their accurate recollections. The media had their way, we'd all be like Biden, an empty memory in a full diaper. They're also erasing her record on bailing out criminals. She's opened more jail cells than cakes with files in them. In 2020, she tweeted out a link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to raise bail money for thugs arrested during the George Floyd mostly peaceful protests. And by mostly peaceful, I mean only a few dozen people were killed. Leave it to the CBS News to paint a different picture. Quote, despite Trump's claim and 2020 tweet showing support, Harris never donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Well, that's not what people asserted. She raised funds, not donated to them, you toady douchebags. And defunding the police, well, she supported that too, once upon a time.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Duh.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
Come back down, right on back. Shack. Son of a gun, better change your act.